Hey everyone, we are at the new office on the square in Lawrenceville, and it's raining. I'm standing outside on the sidewalk on the square. We've got a little temporary wall here, and you can see the rain coming down. It's let up a pretty good amount. It was raining very hard earlier. One of the challenges we've had is keeping the rain out during construction. I didn't help myself by designing a new stair that goes to a new second floor that we cut right through the old structure. We flashed around it, and we've done a really good job of holding the water out, but there's still some that's getting through. This week we concentrated on working on the front deck. We'll have a front deck that is exterior that you can get on the roof and overlook Perry Street and the square and everything that's happening. We're really looking forward to that. There's a Christmas parade coming up. Next year I plan to be up on the deck watching the Christmas parade come down the street. But here you can see some of the water coming in where we removed some of the old flashing on the roof, and you even see some daylight over here as well. And this wall is getting wet for the first time probably since 1900, 1901. From our research, we found that this wall here was built in 1899, and at some point a few years after this wall was built, maybe even 1910, as late as 1910. But we do know that the space in the center here was built in 1914, which means for a few years there, this was an alleyway. And you can see evidence of the space being an alleyway by some of the erosion that occurs on the brick wall, and it's really pronounced down at the end of the brick wall there. I've got a video on that if you want to learn a little bit more. But today what we want to do is talk specifically about this steel. And the idea was that we wanted to return to an alleyway. So the front of the building is going to have this great window wall that opens up to the square, and then we are removing the back brick wall, and it's going to be a complete window wall open to a new courtyard. So you will be able to walk by on the street in the front and see directly through the entire space to the back. And we wanted the steel columns to continue that thinking. So we built these steel columns out of two pieces of channel. Now this is hot rolled carbon steel. And what we found with whenever you hot roll something is that it's not necessarily straight. So it's been a little bit of a challenge to take pieces, and you've got to turn them in different directions to find two when they're aligned back to back that have this nice even dimension between. But hot rolled steel will come out with mill scale, and that's what you see here, kind of this rough texture. We'll sand that down, and we'll get rid of some of these rust spots, the orange spots that you see there, that surface rust. But the idea is that we want to leave the carbon steel natural like it is. And this project is built on a number of different layers of thinking. And one of the layers after this being an alleyway was that we also wanted to expose all of the original brick and all of the old wood ceiling. So 100 years ago, you would have covered this brick up, and you would have covered this ceiling up, and you probably would have even covered these columns, any columns that you had up. But today, what we like about these old spaces are the old brick walls, the old wood ceilings, the things that 100 years ago you thought were unsightly. That's what has the appeal to us today. So we wanted to make sure that we continued that kind of line of thinking with the steel and exposed it as well. So it's not going to be painted, it's going to be the natural material. There's keeping all materials kind of in their natural state is what we've tried to do here without any coatings or coverings. One of the special aspects of the space is this steel stair, and it cuts right through the 100-year-old wood structure. And if you can see here, you see right through the steel stairs from front to back. So that's meant to continue that thinking of it being an alleyway. And if we walk out here on the front, we're on the street, and when this building is done, let's turn this way. When this building is done, you'll be able to walk by on the street, look through the glass wall, and you will see right through all our columns to the back of the space. And so again, that continues that thought of being an alleyway and reinforces that. And we'll do the same with the steel stairs. The steel stairs will have some heart pine flooring that will go be attached to the top of them. You can see You can see here some of the holes that we drilled through there that will attach the wood flooring to it, and then we'll have a wood handrail that will pass up the stairs. It's got a nice little light in it as well that'll provide some light as you walk up. So another layer of thinking here, and as things come together in construction, is anything that you touch in the space, we want it to be warm. So anything that you touch, like a handrail or a door handle, we made wood, so that you have this real warm feeling of when you're inside the space. And that warm wood is in stark contrast to this cold steel. And the steel, one of the reasons I haven't minded it getting wet is as it gets wet, it starts to patina and age. You can see some water dripping down here on the beam. And the surface really starts to almost get different colors in the steel. Not just the orange rust, but you can see here where they welded, and it's almost got a little bit of bluish, purplish tint to it. And we want to make sure that we expose that and that we leave that, because it's just got a lot of character to it and really looks fantastic. But if you step back here in the back, the thinking was with the stair is we wanted to magnify your experience of coming to the square. So we deliberately oriented the stair so that you'd have to walk to the back here. You'll walk up the stairs, and as you're going up the stairs, you have these two steel plates on either side, and you're gonna feel confined. You're gonna feel compressed. And that's very deliberate, so that when you get to the top of the square, there's gonna be a glass wall that you encounter, and you're gonna be expanded into this open space, and you'll see this open veranda in front of you that will open you up to the square. So you'll pass up the stairs, and then you'll start to catch this view of the old courthouse building and the street below. And it should be just a fantastic experience. Here we are in the back. You can see some of the eroded brick wall. We've had some challenge sealing it. It's continuing to dust. And we have these same double channel columns that are built up in the back. All of the bolts are going to be exposed. All the fasteners will be exposed. This new beam is meant to support the old roof here. We've got some new wood members that have been added in order to just kind of shore everything up a little bit. You can see here, even though the rain's let up, there's a lot of water coming off the roof. We're gonna have a scupper, and we're thinking about now turning it into some sort of sculptural element that maybe it's got a gargoyle type face on it, so that when it rains, you'll have this sculptural element that will release all the water from the roof. Our next step after we finish the steel on the roof is to begin the courtyard in the back. This whole brick wall will come out, and we're gonna have to dig down into the courtyard, and we will construct some concrete block walls, and we're gonna face those with some old granite that I got from across the square where the Aurora Theater site is. So here's the stairs from the back of the space. Again, you can see all the way to the front. It should be a great experience walking through the stairs to the roof, and just kind of magnifies what's unique about this building as being on the square. We wanted to make sure that we amplified that. But yeah, that's the steel today. I hope you enjoyed the video. We would appreciate any subscriptions. We'll continue to take some videos of the construction progress and talk about some of the thinking in the design and where we are. On a nicer day, I'll get up on the roof and show you what we've accomplished this week. We've got a lot of the metal deck down, and hopefully soon we'll start putting up some columns and the high beams and the high roof, and then you really get the idea of what the silhouette or the profile of the office is going to look like from the square. So that's it. Take care.